Hello everybody and welcome to this Cpd session from HeppSY. In today's session we will be giving you an overview of Hepp and HeppSY, an introduction to the Gatsby Benchmarks and particularly focusing on benchmark 4 and giving you ideas of how you can meet this benchmark. So who are HeppSY? So we're a government funded UniConnect project, the Higher Education Progression Partnership, South Yorkshire. So we're a partnership with schools and colleges working with Year 9 to Year 13 by sustained interventions. So in our work, we aim to reduce the gap in HE participation between the most and least represented groups. And we do this by working with target schools and colleges across South Yorkshire. We support young people to make well-informed decisions about their further education. And as part of that, we have a team of HE progression advisors, and that's part of my role on HeppSY. So I'm Suzanne, I'm one of the progression advisors. So we're trained careers advisors who provide group sessions and one-to-one guidance, Cpd sessions like today, and create resources. And we provide the support across our HeppSY schools and colleges. We also have other staff on HeppSY that you may see as well. Our school college programme managers will be liaising with you in school over booking activity, and our HE engagement assistants will also come into school and deliver as well. So we all have lots of experience from lots of different backgrounds working on projects such as connections and apprenticeships and working within universities as well. So HeppSY can provide you with lots of advice, guidance and support for both staff and the young people that you're working with. We also have a sister organisation called Hepp, and they work again with schools across South Yorkshire, and they work with students in Year 7 to Year 11. But for HeppSY schools, they just offer the support for Year 7 and Year 8. So you can see on the screen, there's different sessions that you could book for Year 7 and Year 8 as well. There's also the Hepp Hub. So this is an online resource that has lots of information for you, classroom resources that you can download and use, shows you activity that's happening as well, and information from our partner universities. If you've not already used it, you can register at hepp.ac.uk, and from there you'll have access to all the different resources that are available. So it's a really useful tool to be using. So that's a little introduction to Hepp and HeppSY. Now we're going to move on and look at the Gatsby Benchmarks. So the Gatsby Benchmarks are a framework of 8 guidelines, and these show you what makes the best careers provision in schools and colleges. So besides the benchmarks, the career strategy is then built around them, and it's a great place to start planning your programme. So this came about through a report by Sir John Holman, and the aim is for 100% coverage to meet the benchmarks. We're increasingly seeing that Ofsted are looking at this. You can see the government target was to meet it by the end of 2020, but things have changed, and obviously we've been through a big period of change in the last couple of years. So we're just now looking for schools to be working towards it. So why it came in is that it followed on from reports from Ofsted to say that careers guidance in schools was inadequate and patchy, and also that we know that careers guidance is critical for young people to help them make the most of the opportunities that there are out there and to help them to navigate this confusing career path with all the different options open to you. So they were commissioned a report and research, and what came out of that were the 8 Gatsby benchmarks. So we can see that careers activities have a big impact on students. It helps to give them that direction and that of what are they aiming for, what grades will I need to go on to do what I want to do. So things such as increasing revision hours, and then there's like increase in confidence and improvement in attitude. So helping students to see what there is and what they can do in the future. And that we also saw that low achievers and less engaged learners benefited the most. And it also meant they were less likely to become NEET. So that means not in education, training or employment. So they had a plan at the end of year 11 and they took up that plan and they knew where they were going. And also teachers are one of the most influential factors in students' career choice and next steps, because you're the people that they see every day. You're the people that they ask questions of. So what are the Gatsby benchmarks? So you can see on the screen the 8 different benchmarks that they are. So these came about because it was felt that if students covered all 8 of these, they would leave school or college with a good understanding of the options that were out there and the ability to make decisions as well. So you can see that they range from the basics, such as your stable career programme, right through to getting experience of employers and getting experience of workplaces, and personal guidance, that opportunity to sit down with somebody and talk to them about their options. So at Hepp and HeppSY, we often focus on benchmark 7, so encounters with further and higher education. So through our work, then schools and colleges can meet that outcome. And then later on in this presentation, we're going to be looking at benchmark 4 and how you can link your curriculum to careers and how you can help to meet that benchmark as well. So a good way to look at the benchmarks rather than as a list is to look at how they can work together. So if you take benchmark 3, addressing the needs of each pupil, so thinking about the pupils in your school and what do they need, what careers information do they need. Around that are the different activities that you could run. So looking at career and labour market information, benchmark 4, which will come to how you can link careers, a curriculum to the careers. And then we've got getting encounters and experiences. So meeting employers and employees, getting some experience in the workplace, and meeting further and higher education institutions as well. So students get all that information, then wrapping around that can be the personal guidance. So that opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody to help them to navigate and find out about all these different options. And maybe once they've got that information, help them to make those decisions for themselves. And encompassing all of that is the careers programme at school. So doing all of this will add up to your careers programme. So it can be that often a good way to start is planning that programme and looking at how these individual steps all fit into it. And lots of people come into play with these benchmarks. It's not just teachers in school, there's the outside institutions, there's employers, there's the careers and enterprise company, parents, so there's lots of different people inputting into students' career decisions. So that's just a different way to look at the benchmarks and how that you can meet them. So to focus a little bit more on benchmark 4, and this is often where different schools and colleges have found it a little bit harder to meet, but there's lots of different things that you can do. So there's different ways you can meet careers, embedding it in the curriculum. So keeping careers as a subject in its own right, incorporating it into different subjects, and organising it through extracurricular activities as well. What is shown to work best is a whole school approach. So if you have careers lessons, delivering it as part of that, but also delivering it within subject areas as well. And it is a challenging benchmark, and it is one that lots of schools, as I said, have found harder and found more challenging to me, and they're looking at lots of different ways to do it. But it's often from sessions that we deliver, it's one that students find the most useful in a way, because they can directly then link the work they're doing in school and how it's going to help them in the future. So some ideas, how could you start to meet careers in the curriculum? A great place to start is sharing with your students your own career. So what did you do at university? Did you come straight into teaching? Are there other jobs you've had in that area as well? I wouldn't say don't waste time creating lots of resources. There's lots of things out there that you can already use, that can be linked to your subject area. Another good way is to link with alumni. So do you have past students that have gone on to do your subject at college, at sixth form, at university? Do they now have a job linked to it? And linking with local employers as well. So you will have an enterprise coordinator linked to your school, and their role is to help you to link with local employers. So there's lots of people out there that can help with that as well. Creating visual displays of career options relating to your subject. So helping students to see what can it lead on to. So either directly, what careers directly linked to your subject, and indirectly as well, what careers would be linked and what careers would find your subject useful. So there's a link you can see on the screen to lots of different visual displays. So just to give you an idea, these are the sorts of posters and resources that are available that you could download and use in your classroom to create a display, or to use maybe as screensavers in your class as well. So lots of resources that are already out there to use. Other ideas that you could use are things like having a careers champion for each subject area. So that person would be responsible for researching information, finding resources such as the ones we've just shown you, and then disseminating it across their colleagues. And it might be that you take a term each and different people take a turn in it. There's having regular Cpd sessions, so doing just short activities amongst your team and sharing resources. Having something at the start of the lesson, so something like what is the role, and helping and having students to guess the role. On the HeppSY website, we also have a range of slides, short 4 or 5 slides that go through different careers in your subject area that you could use at the beginning or the end of a lesson. In HeppSY, we also run a careers in the curriculum session. So that's delivered by my team of careers advisors. We come into any subject lesson and run between a 30-minute and hour session, looking at the skills that you get from your subject and how the careers link to it. So again, either the careers that directly link to the subject or indirectly link to the subject, and then thinking about also what subjects related to it could they do at college or sixth form, and what are the HE opportunities from that subject as well. So that's available to book from HeppSY for your subject. And there's lots of links and resources that are already there. We know you're all very busy and there's lots going on in school, so there's lots of things that are out there to help you with this. So good things to do as well. If you're doing all this great activity in your subject area, making sure that your careers lead knows this. So to judge how schools are meeting the Gatsby benchmarks, there's a tracker called Compass, which your careers lead will be responsible for filling in. So if they're not aware of activities that's happening, they won't be able to fill it in accurately. So if you can update them on what's happening. There might be other ways that this might also link to other department or subject objectives that you've got, and how can you use both together. There are also lots of sector organisations out there. So depending on your sector, things such as the STEM Centre, lots of different sectors have resources already available as well. We're also increasingly seeing that Ofsted are asking about meeting Gatsby benchmarks and asking about careers provision as well. And it's now part of the Ofsted inspection framework. So what I would say is record whatever you're doing and keep a record just of what's occurs during the year. So just in summary, the Gatsby benchmarks are there to standardise provision to make sure that all young people are getting access to careers advice and guidance. So we know that careers guidance is the key to social mobility and raising aspirations. Having a whole school approach works best, so everybody working together and having things running across the school and making sure you're keeping records of what you're doing. So we can see that more than 2,800 schools and colleges have completed the Compass at least twice, and we are seeing improvements in careers provision across the country. It's about adapting and seeing the current situation as a chance to modify careers programmes as well. It's been through a very challenging time, but what it has meant is there's lots more digital resources available for your students. There's lots more opportunities for people just to dip in remotely to sessions as well, which we didn't have the opportunity to do before. So some extra resources. Our website has those slides that I talked about for lesson starters and shows you all the provision that's available at HeppSY as well. The Hepp resource, the Hepp Hub have lots of resources you can download as well. Also on the Hepp Hub, we have something called Shape Your Future, and these booklets available to download on there, and we can also get you paper copies, and they have lots of information linked to different career sectors and showing where the jobs of the future are going to be. And then there's information on Gatsby on the Careers and Enterprise website, and your local enterprise coordinator, Helen Valentine, can help as well. We also have a whole range of Cpd sessions, such as this, available on our YouTube channel, or we can offer more individual Cpd as well. So thank you for listening, and I hope that's been a useful resource for you.